Hello again, everyone. Mark Hackle, Macomb County Executive. John Paul Rea, here our Deputy Executive, just giving you some updates, what's going on with the COVID issue here and other issues in Macomb County. And we're fortunate. Numbers have been steady. And I say steady because we have flattened the curve. There's no question about it. 47% to under 7% as far as test positive rates. We, as sad as it is to see anybody impacted by this virus, the deaths are what we really get concerned about. But 600 in April to now around 16 or less that we're seeing, for the last couple of months. So we're fortunate in that regard, and our health department has been on top of this and doing a great job, especially with those congregative care facilities, long-term, and our schools, and how impactful they've been in trying to figure out how do we work through those issues.
Mark, entering into another phase with regards to response here to the coronavirus as we close out the summer months, heading into the fall, and as we return to learn in a number of different learning environments around the county. We're at a 6.7% positivity rate. That's actually been on the decline now for about the better part of 2 weeks, which is good. Testing well above 2,000 individuals a day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Drive-through testing at our health department site over here in the county too, sponsored by the Macomb County Health Department. Cases per million, again, in the mid-50s. When we were looking at that uptick that we had a few weeks back, I mean, there were some days where we were up over 100 cases a day. Steady decline, steady management of the virus, and as you said too, specifically with the deaths, we're looking at that 7-day average on deaths, about 1 death. And as you said, every death is a concern, obviously the impact it has to our residents. But again, control, contain, taking in that information, responding and bringing in the appropriate partners and figuring out where the challenge is and how we get the appropriate response.
Yeah, now they're dissecting the actual numbers of deaths too. We're starting to hear that CDC, and there's some chatter about the actual deaths itself. Did somebody die from COVID or with COVID? And so now they're trying to delineate that and the percentage of people that really died as a result of the COVID virus. So probably tune in. You're going to be hearing more about that as time goes by, as far as what the experts are saying in that regard. But getting back to the schools, fortunately the governor did engage the legislature, which is something I've been talking about for months. We need to do that to vet these issues more appropriately, rather than just giving one person a decision-making authority to do that. So in doing so, she finally engaged our schools, and I should say legislatures, to figure out how do we deal with it. And they broke it down to basically the school districts. So it wasn't something now that is going to be based on statewide mandate, regional mandate, a county mandate. It was given the opportunity to have school superintendents along with school boards make this decision. And that's something we've been waiting for quite some time, whether it's being a student, whether it's a parent, teachers, the teachers unions, even those of us that are employers, because it was really going to have an impact whatever decision was made. So now it's across the board. I mean, there's various schools doing different things, and far be it for anyone to challenge one that has an opportunity to make a decision how they want to do it. We're not doing that. And so in other words, if a school district says we're doing all remote, then they're doing all remote. We'll try to figure out how we deal with it. We're dealing with it with technology.
Yes, sir.
By working with those schools directly, as well as the ISD. If they decide they're going to do some kind of a hybrid, where some kids are going to be doing it in phases, some coming in, we're going to support that as well. So whatever decision is being made at that local level, we are going to figure out how do we support that and manage it as an employer as well with our employees.
21 school districts across the county, Mark. There is a vast spectrum of opportunities for children to learn and the parents to make the decision on where they feel most safe to put their children to continue their learning. I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the coordination we've had with Mike DeVault, our intermediate school district, also with each one of the districts, dependent on the determination made by their Board of Education, advocates of parents, teachers unions, that collaborative conversation that's been having. Those opportunities are there. Again, we will advocate for children. We will keep them as safe as possible. And the thing that is also interesting is we actually have a call this afternoon with all of our emergency management liaisons at the municipal level to ensure that we have appropriate protocol in place to respond if and when there are positive cases and the support that's needed at the district level. We're on it, we're prepared, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, and again, like I say, far be it for anybody to be judgmental. However, the parents as well as the teachers and the school districts decide they want to provide that educational opportunity for the kids, that's up to them. They've been given the opportunity to make that decision, so we're going to continue to work with them. And I'm hearing today, and it's unfortunate I had to hear about it through the media, but apparently the Free Press got access to some comment apparently that the governor made that there's going to be an announcement sometime this week, maybe tomorrow, about some of the other, I guess, businesses that haven't been able to open yet. Ice arenas, roller rinks, rinks, talking about some of the theaters, Imagine Theater, for example, and even the health clubs, health and fitness clubs. So with that, I was kind of hoping that there would be an engagement with the legislative branch, but we're hearing that there's going to be some announcement. I don't have privy to any of that information. I did call some of our legislators to find out what they may know, and once again, they do not have any insight as to what's going to be happening. So we do believe at some point in time, come Wednesday, we're going to hear about possibly some opening, which I think is an appropriate decision to be made, but once again, I think one that should have been made along with the legislature. So that being said, I think we're going to finally see some movement, and I think it's based upon the numbers, the data, the science, statistics, whatever it might be. We've been prepared to deal with this for quite some time, and I say that because our health department has been intimately engaged with all of our businesses here in Macomb County, along with the schools and the congregative care facilities. So we know if they do decide to allow them to open with some restrictions, we can manage that because I know our businesses here in Macomb County will continue to be a part of the solution, much like the people that live in Macomb County. So we're ready for that and prepared for it, and I'm hoping that's the direction or the news that we're going to be hearing come Wednesday on behalf of the governor.
Mark, obviously we're hearing the chatter from Lansing. We will respond most appropriate, not only whether it's providing resources to our health department, our planning and economic development department, engaging businesses, providing them with guidance and clarity of how they can phase in and open up in the most appropriate and responsible way, following those CDC guidelines. Again, it's another step in the right direction. It gives us an important opportunity to phase in and re-engage different elements of our economy, and it's another factor that's going to provide individuals with an outlet for that self-care and for that, that personal well-being too.
Yeah, and with that being said, you stop and think about it, and anybody who doesn't anticipate some level of an uptick as a result of some of these other businesses opening, well, I think you're underestimating, the issues that are going on, because it is still a concern within the community, but without question, something that can be controlled by our health department being part of the solution and doing the contact tracing, as well as the healthcare facilities that are dealing with any of these cases that are coming their way. So we know we can manage it. We know that opening it up will probably create a little bit of an uptick, that terminology we keep hearing about, but we're here to figure out how do we help guide the businesses along. And again, I think you're going to find some extremely happy business owners seeing that there's going to be some relenting on behalf of the governor to open these type of facilities.
Mark, it brings in the personal responsibility, folks being able to wear that mask, getting those businesses the appropriate materials that they need, guiding them as how they can open their businesses the most safely. We're prepared to do that and looking forward to the conversation on Wednesday.
Yeah, and a bit of good news, we kind of had we had to be silent. People often know how I handle gag orders, but this one came from Tony Michael. And with that being said, Tony Michael, many of you know, we just had the fireworks out at Lake St. Clair Metro Park, Metro Beach, for many of us that still want to call it Metro Beach like me. We did have the fireworks out there, and how that came about was a conversation with Tony Michaels. He's the guy that's the director, chairman, president of the parade company. Does an incredible job, not only for the various parade activities, the pancake flipping we get to do.
Oh, absolutely.
The parade itself, even some of the other events that they have.
Hobnoble Gobble is another good one.
I like that one. So Tony does a great job, I'm telling you, of really bringing some assets to the city of Detroit and trying to get people to engage in some of the, I guess if you will, insightful things. I mean, people really enjoy watching that parade. And so with that being said, fireworks is a huge part of the excitement with the city of Detroit.
62 years.
Amazing.
Great tradition.
Not that Tony's been in charge for 62 years. Got to make that clarification here. But Tony, Mike, I tell you, there's nobody like him. And so when he reached out, he gave a call and said, hey, listen, we're having a challenge with the city of Detroit because of the congregation issues and other issues that they're seeing. We're looking for a location, and is there something you can do? So we put our heads together, and I thought, the Metro Parks, a huge asset for us here in Macomb County. And again, for many various reasons, they've had many fireworks displays out there, and I can remember them back in the day of being a patrolman. And so with that being said, we offered up an opportunity to contact the Metro Parks and try to figure out how do we work with them in doing just that. And JP, who sits on the board for the Metro Parks, we figured out, Tony, we think we can make this happen. And within probably less than a day, we were able to pull together some, It
was less than 3 hours.
It really was, I know. It was amazing how much effort went into this in a very short period of time. And I know it really made Tony happy, but made some people that really like that event and like to watch it happy as well. So again, credit to the Metro Parks and the work that they did on it.
Look, Mark, Director Amy McMillan, the team over there, Joe Hall, obviously Mike Reese, Chief of Police, stepping up. Everyone came together. Got to give a tremendous amount of credit to Sheriff Wickersham out there coordinating everything, our friends at the township level with Supervisor Verkest too. Everyone really realized that this is something that we needed, not only for our region, but to celebrate those special things that connect us all across Southeast Michigan. Tony is an absolute pro in this arena, and not only was we able to bring a world-class show right to the shores of Lake St. Clair, right in our backyard, and it's something I think we're damn proud of across the board.
You know, I know they have a connectivity with Channel 4. That's who does the broadcasting of it, the fireworks when it's live, and so they knew about it, but we had to be quiet about it because we didn't want the congregation, we didn't want the challenges that, you know, Detroit was worried about, knowing that it was supposed to be there. So we had to, and trying to avoid the other media outlets or resources was difficult, especially for a guy like me. I'm usually very much engaging and very interactive with them, but we had to try to figure out how do we do that because there was a promise made and it was a promise kept. And so with that, we know there were word that kind of got out. There was rumors about it happening. Boy, I'm going to tell you, the boating crowd out there on that lake was amazing, especially at night. You'd almost thought that, you know, the Canadian border was was closer to us with all the lights on some of those boats, and even the people that lived in the subdivisions nearby. I'll tell you, I was getting videos sent to me by some of the folks because JP and I were actually out there at the park, making sure everything went the way it was supposed to go, and helping to try to figure out how do we manage it. But I got to tell you, it really went off well. There was a great display, but we got a great response even from the neighbors in that area who truly enjoyed, kind of their own little fireworks display in front of their own, homes out on Lake St. Clair. So it really was a remarkable event, and we're glad it went off well, and glad Tony reached out to figure out if we can be part of that solution and help them through that.
It's always interesting. Amy from the Metro Parks usually says there's nothing that the Metro Parks can't do, and I really think that's an illustration of the great partnerships and the connections we're making here in Macomb County to provide those great quality of life elements for people throughout the county too.
Yeah, and I think Amy was hoping, if this COVID thing surpasses, maybe we can do that again and invite people to actually
that'd be nice. Yeah,
do it from land as opposed to just the boats. And with that, that's kind of a shout out to Tony Michaels. We're here if you really want to keep having those events here in Macomb County. We're good with that. So we like being a regional partner. So we're, again, can't thank Tony enough for that. And with that, probably the only other bit of note is I'm kind of a guy that likes the Derby races, and the Kentucky Derby is this weekend.
It is.
And so I guess I'll give you an inside tip.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to give you my horse.
Okay.
I think people are probably looking at the number one horse is Tis the Law. I believe is the number one horse.
Tis the Law won the Belmont. That's correct.
That's the number one
favorite right now at post time.
But my favorite, I'm just going to give you an insight here. So if you're a betting person, you want to put some money on it, Authentic. Authentic is going to win the Derby race. All right, that's the horse to bet on here. So
COVID update now. Horse racing update.
That's right. I got this down here. So well, with that being said, I go to the Derby races. One thing that I actually enjoy doing, and along with my wife, we go down to the Kentucky Derby. This year, unfortunately, because of this COVID, they're not allowed to have fans. So I'm going to be watching it on TV, and not having a house party as a result. But I will be watching the Derby races, and you can pretty much bet my $5 bet is going to be on Authentic. I'm a big gambler. So, but again, I don't bet much. I'm one of those nervous bettors.
There you go.
But again, we just wanted to update you on what's going on here in Macomb County, and thank you for tuning in once again, and remind you to keep you and your family safe.